So you're saying that 2020 started with Australia on fire?
Yes.
It says here that the US killed an Iranian general in order to deter future Iranian attack plans.
That is correct.
6 days later, Iran launched ballistic missiles to military bases in Iraq to injure American soldiers.
Yeah, they weren't as deterred as anticipated. Yep, 2020 is the year where Harry and Meghan stepped down from their duties as senior royals.
It says here that later on in the year they got a £30 million podcast deal, and I just wanted to ask...
Yeah, no one thought it was going to go that well.
No, I wanted to ask, what's a podcast?
It's best you don't know.
So it says here that Trump was impeached, but I'd say it's more of an orange colour.
Oh, that's not what... Look, just give me...
It says here that we left the European Union on 31st of January 2020. If that's the case, then why are we still in it? It says here that Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape and criminal sexual acts, but he was acquitted on charges of predatory sexual assault. But wasn't he a predator who sexually assaulted people?
Yes. Yes, well, and guys, you've asked some great questions, but none of you have mentioned the virus of China.
It says here that people weren't allowed to say Chinese virus, but it's okay for you to call it a virus of China.
Okay, I'll move on to the UK's response to the virus.
What response?
Exactly.
What's herd immunity?
Initially, the UK government wanted everyone to get the virus so that they could produce antibodies against it.
So the UK government wanted everyone to catch a virus that was killing people?
Exactly.
And why did they change that plan?
Because it killed a lot of people. But then they moved on to trying to delay its impact, but the only thing that they delayed was our return to normality, because that's when we entered lockdown. Many lockdowns.
So you say 2020 was really bad, but now that we've been through it, it seems like it was okay.
That's the end of the page. You've only read up to March, moron. We had to teach people how to wash their hands, and I think you'd have been one of them.
So were you annoyed when Wuhan came out of lockdown after about 76 days, but ours lasted another 5 years? Must have been pretty pissed at the government.
Well, you have to remember the only reason you need to respond to a virus is because it exists in the first place.
Tiger King looks shit.
It's excellent.
Whoa, Boris Johnson's kid almost grew up without a father.
At the time, that was no different to his other children. We used to say that no matter how bad the situation, you bet that Boris Johnson can have a child during it. Stop passing that money around.
Did anyone try drinking bleach after Trump said it helped with corona?
No, we were waiting for him to try it first.
Oh, the Labour leadership election?
The old white guy one.
I think you're talking about the US election.
I'm talking about both.
Sir, how did we pay off the furlough scheme that cost 100 gazillion billion trillion million pounds?
Remember Captain Tom Moore? Basically, we got him to walk around his garden again, but this time a bit lively.
So, was this the only year in history that people managed to get a refund from British Rail? Was Pride cancelled because there was nothing to be proud about?
I wouldn't word it like that.
So, it's the reason we don't have an NHS anymore because shopkeepers refuse to accept the repeated striking of palms as currency?
I wouldn't blame the shopkeeper.
If they weren't all online businesses, I'd fucking set them on fire.
I imagine you agree with the anti-racism protesters.
Yeah, because what I'm trying to read here is that they were trying to say that all lives matter, including slave trader statue lives.
Yes, that is what they were saying.
I agree with them.
I know you do.
So, sir, did you homeschool your children then?
I didn't actually have any children at the time, but I do know that homeschooling was a disaster because, well, you're the children of the homeschooled generation.
Is it true that Boris Johnson didn't want to feed the hungry children because he didn't want to accidentally feed one of his own? So this Dominic Cummings guy travelled 260 miles to test his eyesight.
Yeah, there were only 109 Specsavers in London at the time.
What's Specsavers?
Used to be an eye testy place.
So everyone was wearing stupid face masks then?
Why wear two, eh?
Some people wore two.
Only when they risk their lives for half-price chicken.
Oxford AstraZeneca boat race sounds rubbish.
No, the boat race was cancelled.
Damn, what did it do? Probably because it's got the word race in it. Can't say nothing no more.
That means you can say something.
So the FBI arrested Ghislaine Maxwell after the Epstein documentary was released.
Yeah, after Ghislaine, they tried to arrest a chemistry teacher who had become a drug lord.
If Trump tried to stop me being president,
This stretches the definition of hypothetical.
I would.
Let me guess. Burn down the White House.
Yeah. Priti Patel doesn't look like a bully.
Well, you don't have an Asian mum, so.
Why did the tears start at medium and not low?
But when they discussed it, I assume Boris was high or very high.
So, sir, in 2020, were you more likely to get a COVID vaccine or a PS5 for Christmas? Boris Johnson cancelled Christmas because he hated the annual paternity test conversations. So, sir, I've just turned the page and looked at 2021.